What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, I'm a little bit excited. And the reason I'm a little bit excited is for two reasons. Number one, Bandai have just gone and shown us all of the alternate art leaders from OP-13. That's a lie. They've shown us the alternate art leaders of the 5 revealed leaders. They are still hiding a leader from us. We're pretty sure we know who it is, Emu, and there's probably a good reason they're hiding it. But they've shown us the alternate arts of the 5 that have been recently revealed. And they've given us a new super rare or secret rare to go with each of those leaders while still hiding the 6th leader. So let's start off having a look, and let's start off with our old friend Monkey D. Luffy. We like Luffy. This seems to be a very strong leader, and it has a very confusing Shanks to pair with it. And as we get going, my usual reminder here, YouTube changed their algorithm a couple of days ago, so likes and comments are so much more important than they were before, so please drop a like and a comment, it would mean a lot. Now, in terms of the alternate arts here, we are back to manga heads, full-on manga heads, and we know they're full-on manga head leaders because they don't have an artist credit in the top right-hand corner of the card. If there's no artist credit, then it is Oda artwork, which means it's just manga heads, whereas if there is an artist credit, they're what I like to refer to as fake manga heads, which is to say the same basic design, but they're not actually Oda artwork taken from the manga. They're a little bit different. And I've been telling you for a little while, I think this Luffy's nuts. I think this Luffy is a ridiculous card. I think it is an extremely powerful card. We have a pretty standard stat line here. That is to say 5,000 power, 4 life on a dual color red and green leader. Nothing unusual about that. And then we got a skill that says Don X1, when your opponent attacks, if you have 5 or fewer active Don, then you can rest any number of Don you like. And for each one you rested, either your leader or one of your Straw Hat characters, has to be a Straw Hat character, gains 2,000 power for the battle. It's basically turned any of your open Don into a 2k counter on the condition that you only use it for Straw Hats and that you have 5 or fewer open Don. That is very important. More than 5 open Don, this doesn't work. Why am I stressing that so much right now? Because this is the point where I have to tell you about the new Shanks. And the new Shanks, to be fair, is kind of awesome. What we got for the new Shanks is Green Shanks, 10 cost, 12,000 power, big old boy. It's filmed 4 Emperors and Redhead Pirates, if anyone's interested. And we got a skill whereby on play, activate all of your Don. Hang on a second, that's busted. There must be a downside. Yes, there is. Because for the rest of your turn, you cannot play any cards from your hand. That doesn't mean the Don is useless. It means you cannot use it to play any cards from your hand. So you're either using it to activate skills of cards that are already on the board, or you're saving it for your opponent's turn to do various things. And this is where it gets very interesting pairing it with Luffy. Because having a bunch of Don open to use with Luffy, clearly brilliant. However, remember what I keep telling you. Luffy only works if you have 5 or fewer Don open. That's important. Now, obviously, Shanks is a 10 cost, so you got 10 Don. You play it, Shanks. They all get rested. Shanks then puts all 10 of them active, and then you have 10 active, not 5. Play some events, use some skills, etc. And then you've got 5 open for Luffy. This could be an answer for the late game, but you've got to get down to 5 open Don. Although, actually, just to be clear, because all the Don are active, you can just literally give them to your characters. So as much as I'm saying you need to get down to 5 active Don, you can literally just attach them to your leader or characters and guarantee that it happens. That's a cheat code to guarantee you get to where you need to be. Now, we've seen the alternate art of Ace. This is a very nice one. And shout out to Vampire Gaming, who is the biggest Ace fan that I think any of us in the One Piece community know. And if you follow them even a little bit, you will have seen their excitement at the reveal of this leader and now the reveal of the alternate art. And I love seeing the excitement of One Piece fans getting their favourite character as a new leader. Now, Ace, for what it's worth, does actually look like a pretty fun leader again. We've got a pretty weird stat line of 6,000 power free life as a dual colour. And yes, that means essentially hit hard, but protect your life because things could go wrong very, very quickly. But then what we've got here is, when your opponent attacks, once per turn, trash a card from your hand, and your opponent's leader or one of their characters gets minus 1,000 power for the battle. Essentially, it turns a card in your hand into a 2k counter. Because them losing 2k is functionally the same as you gaining 2k, and it can be any card in your hand that you trash in order to actually activate this skill. Okay, cool. We've then got Don X1 once per turn. When you take damage, or when your character with an original power of 6k or more is KO'd, you draw a card. Cool. Seems like a very strong leader. What do we have in terms of an extra card to use with it? I mean, it's Whitebeard. It's a 10 cost, 12k Whitebeard. Yeah, they're giving us some huge cards here. And you've got Blocker. And then on play, draw 2, trash a card from your hand, and then your leader and one of your characters gets given 2 rested Don. I was expecting to see a bunch of mistranslations of this, saying leader or character. Not seeing that now, actually. I'm seeing a lot of people picking up. Usually these skills are leader or rested character. I was a bit taken aback when I saw that it was both. As always, I do these translations myself. I literally taught myself to read cards so that I could. And this, again, seems very strong. Because you pay 10 Don to play Newgate, but immediately 4 of those Don immediately get redirected, 2 to your leader, 2 to one of your characters. And bearing in mind, your leader starts at 6k anyway. So those 2 extra Don are going to be very, very nice. And again, this seems good. It's big, it's powerful. You know, you're going to have to wait for your 10 Don turn. But you've got a blocker that draws 2. You have to trash one, but it's still +1 card in hand. And then you've also giving 4 rested Dawn in addition to getting a 12k body on the board. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is one that I've absolutely got my eye on. I've realised lately, I think Whitebeard generally, just the Whitebeard cards in the game, are due for a lot more success. And I think OP-13, with these new Whitebeard cards, could be the place that it happens. Also, please remember, in Starter Deck 22, we have the 8-cost event, I Am Whitebeard. And if your leader is Whitebeard Pirates, which it is here, you can play a Newgate from your hand, and then add a card on the top or bottom of your life to your hand, and then your leader gains an extra 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. When this was revealed, I said we needed a really good 10-cost Newgate. We just got a really good 10-cost Newgate. Now, we're getting Goldie Roger as a leader finally here. And this is very interesting, right? We get 7,000 power, 5 life on a dual color, which, again, is an absurd stat line. However, there is a twist. There is a catch here. And the catch is that when you get to your Don phase, when you're putting out Don, if you have Don on your field, give this leader one of the Don cards that would be added during your Don phase. Now, there's been a bit of confusion here, and I did not help in my previous video, for which I apologise. It was a little ambiguous as to whether you have to put a Don on Roger if no Don would be put out. Well, we've got a 10-cost Roger coming, so you must be able to have 10 Don as a Roger player. Therefore, when you get to your 10 Don turn, you put out Don number 10, or 9 and 10, depending whether you went first or second. One of them has to go on Roger. But the next turn, when you have 10 Don at the start of your turn, you don't attach one But it means 10 cost Roger is going to come out a turn later than it normally would, because a turn where you go up to 10 Don, one of them goes on your leader, you only have 9 Don available. It means if you're using these purple skills at Don minus, you're not going to be able to play your 10 cost Roger. That is an important downside, but I apologize, it was a little bit ambiguous. But now that we have a 10 cost Roger, we have the answer. If you're not putting out Don, if you've already got 10 on the field, you don't add 1 to Roger, but it does mean your 10 cost Roger comes out a turn later. While you have 9 or fewer Don on your field, this leader gains minus 2,000 power. It's a good leader, but the fact that you're always kind of 1 Don down until you get to 10 Don because you're putting 1 on your leader, the fact that you don't get up to 7k until you've got 10 Don, there were downsides. What have we got in terms of a new character here? We got a big old Goldie Roger. And it is a big old Goldie Roger. 10 cost, 13,000 power. And it says that your leader and your characters other than Roger Pirates have their effects negated. Now, what that means is your non-Roger Pirate characters don't have any effects, boo, hiss, etc. But it turns off your leader effect, which is very important because essentially you can get this out and then go down below 10 Don without losing the 2,000 power because the skill that does minus 2,000 power is an effect that will be negated. It's a bit of a weird one here because that skill kind of turns off when you get to 10 Don anyway, which is when you can play Roger, but it allows you to do Don minus without going below. Bit of a weird one, but there we are. We've also then got, on play, Don minus 3, and your leader gains 2,000 power until the start of your next turn, and then all of your opponent's characters lose 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. But remember, you get this down, you Don minus 3, you go down to 7 Don, but you don't lose the 2k bump because you've turned off the skill that says you have to be at 10 Don to go actually up to the 7k. I kind of like this. It's awkward, don't get me wrong, but this is a very powerful character. You get a whole turn where you get an extra 2k on your leader and all of your opponent's characters get minus 2k. Yes, love it. Now, Sabo's a little bit weird to me because it kind of looks a lot like the alternate art we got in OP-05. Now, if you put them side by side, you can tell them apart, but they're more similar than I thought they were. They are very similar alternate arts. Not a fan of this, incidentally. I'm just not a fan of this. I don't mind repeating manga heads with the same character, but the Sabo alt art here compared to the old art in OP-05, they're too similar. I don't like it. I do, however, like the new leader. The leader is very, very cool. What we got from the Sabo leader is 5,000 power, 5 life, but you lose 1,000 power if you've got 4 or more life. You have to go down to 3 in order to actually get the full 5,000 power. And Don X1, if you have an 8 cost or higher character in play, your leader and all of your characters gain 1,000 power. So if you've got 3 or less life and an 8 cost on the field, you're a 6k leader and all your characters get a 1k bump. That sounds very, very good. What have we got in terms of support? It's Sabo! Secret Rare Sabo. Really nice artwork on this one. We've got ourselves a 6 cost 7k black blocker, and we've got activate main once per turn. You give one of your characters plus 2 cost until the end of your opponent's next turn. Very important for the leader skill here. And then you give a rested Don card to your leader. And to be fair, it has to be your leader. It's not your leader or one of your characters. It is specifically your leader to which you give a rested Don. Cool. Sounds good to me, because bearing in mind your leader skill has to have a Don on there to activate the skill. So you want a Don on your leader at all times. Having a Don on your leader, making it happen with a secret rare, sounds good to me. And then finally, we got ourselves Jewelry Bonnie. We got the alternate art here. this is, again, we've got the Crying Bonnie, but it totally makes sense. And we've got the skill here whereby during your turn, once per turn, when you play a character with trigger, then you get to give 2 Rested Dawn to your leader or one of your characters. And it's yellow, so you're probably going to be playing a bunch of cards with trigger. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then going along with it, we've got ourselves a new Jewelry Bonnie super rare. And we've got a 9-cost, 10,000 power. I'm telling you, these are big cards, and I mean it. And we've got on play, if your leader is Egghead, and there's only this Bonnie and the previous Vegapunk, this character gains Rush, and then your opponent adds a top card of their life to their hand. I like both of these things. That sounds awesome. Getting Rush? Yes, I can attack right away. That's a good thing. My opponent adding the top card of their life to their hand. I mean, look, the downside here is they get +1 card in hand. But imagine they've got 1 life remaining. You play this. They put the last life into their hand. You can then swing with Bonnie for game. Now, you are giving your opponent an extra card in hand by taking their last life. Or putting it in their hand, at least. So, what that means is that they will potentially have an extra counter, event card, whatever it might be. But you've already got 10k here. Potentially, you've got your 10th Dawn that can be put on to make it 11k. Maybe you've got some other way to buff this up as well. And then all of a sudden, you're potentially rolling with a very powerful character to try and win the game. I like this. Then we've got a trigger. If you have 1 or fewer life, rest your opponent's 7-cost or lower character. Cool. It's good for me, ladies and gentlemen. That is good for me. Sure, there's times you're not going to have 1 or less life, and that's a bit annoying. But 7-cost or lower is a wide range of cards. Having that is going to be a big bonus. So there we go. I promised you 5 alternate art leaders, and I delivered. I promised you 5 new big cards, and I delivered. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of these, and give me your predictions for the last leader in the comments. Go nuts! Be nice. And please do remember, with the new YouTube rules, likes and comments are so much more important than they were before. So please do drop a like or a comment. It means so much more now. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.